Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from King Valex. This video of Larry Fink is absolutely incredible. Take a listen.
And yet you were always sort of also, I think, a bit of a skeptic of all this.
Oh, I actually believe most of the companies are not going to be around. I still believe that. I do believe
because they're now real, they're frauds, they're what?
Well, I mean, think about FTX. I mean, you could look back now. FTX created its failure was it's creating its own token. It was not a DeFi. It wasn't a ledger that was open to the world. It was a closed ledger.
Right.
It was not distributed. So the whole foundation of what crypto is, it's supposed to be a distributed ledger that is across the system. I actually believe this technology is going to be very important.
He says the technology is going to be very important, but most of the companies are not going to be around. Like I've been telling you all along, 99% of crypto is going to disappear. Brad Garlinghouse warned you of that. Lehman Baird over there at Hedera has said the same thing. Once regulations come, this space is going to change forever. Wait and see. XRP price to hit $2 by May before reaching all-time high. Pro XRP Lawyer predicts. XRP price to reach $2 by May. So this is coming from an XRP lawyer. In other words, he's just speculating like everyone else. I do believe the price could definitely hit that by May. And I do think we will achieve a new all-time high. Mostly over the summer, I think that's going to happen. Unless the Ripple SEC case wraps up first and goes to settlement. But again, it's prediction after prediction on XRP right now. Because people are starting to get excited about XRP once again. And, you know, every day it's all speculation on the price. Let's break that dollar first. Bam, listen to Warren Davidson speaking on the lack of regulatory clarity by the SEC. One thing I want to point out is what he says at the end of this video. Take a listen.
Yeah, so thank you. I hope that we do what our committee has set out to do, is provide that regulatory clarity. We passed FIT 21. We passed a ban on central bank digital currency. We passed stablecoin legislation. And we importantly protected the right of self-custody. Are there any concerns that the CFPB's approach threatens self-custody? Because frankly, one of the most important protections we found as companies maybe haven't flourished, they've had problems, some have failed, users have been harmed, notably by FTX. Isn't self-custody a way to protect yourself?
Take notice how he's talking about self-custody, and that's very important to any crypto investor. And notice he cited FTX, same thing that Larry Fink is always doing, citing FTX. That's why the fall of FTX happened at that one specific time. Ponder this. During the past bear market that was riddled with scandals, FTX, Luna, etc., keep in mind that institutions were on the sidelines, scared to invest, never pulled the trigger. Now imagine them pulling the trigger safely on crypto with regulations this year. And I think what happened was nobody wanted to pull the trigger then. The whole market was in absolute chaos. I think 2023 was more focused on building, and all of a sudden that trust in crypto is coming back for these big institutions. Now we're going to see regulations come, and every one of them is going to pull the trigger one after another. And we are going to see adoption happen at a very fast pace. And a lot of these cryptocurrencies are going to rise in price very quick as that happens as well. BRICS news. Putin signs law on use of digital assets in international payments. Russian banks have been suspended from SWIFT, a global network used by banks to conduct rapid transfer of money across borders. In the past, BRICS mentioned XRP multiple times in a journal, and they don't even have to mention XRP. Look at the partnerships that Ripple has that are already working with India and China, Brazil, South Africa, and Russia has, I believe, has been working with Ripple in the background all along the way. But, Ripple is already inside of BRICS, and I stress that a lot because everybody says they're not going to work with a US-based company. That's never, ever going to happen. It's already happening through partnerships of Ripple. They're going to utilize the technology. That's what's important, because that's what we hold, the technology that's going to move money from one country to another. David Schwartz said there might be a demand for gold asset backs by a counterparty as a bridge. But ultimately, I think that will produce an island of liquidity that will still require a universal asset, because the world certainly won't agree on a counterparty if they don't have to. And even the countries inside of BRICS, they don't really trust each other. You think Russia fully trusts China? Do you think China fully trusts Russia or India? No, they're going to want to have a trust layer in there. What's that trust layer? XRP. And even if they choose to work with a gold-backed currency, XRP is still going to move that gold-backed currency from one country to another. And that's why I always said, you could doubt XRP all you want, but everything is already right there in front of you. It's easy to see now. A couple years ago, hard to see. You need some convincing back then. Today, all it takes is doing a little bit of research. From Ripple themselves, final rules, MiCA, are being put in place this year. We're nearly there in Europe. Banks are joining the crypto party. Now, inside this article, I want to point out digital identity. That's definitely going to be a very important factor when it comes to CBDCs. And that's the part I don't like the most, because a digital ID will be tied to every aspect of your life, your health records, your work history. And, I could even wrap my head a little bit around a CBDC with privacy laws put in place, but not a digital ID. I'm definitely not a fan of that at all, but I also know it's coming. Point to be understood, collaboration in this new name of the game, not competition. SWIFT is protecting their middleman status by opening up its platform to offer more services. Ripple and SWIFT have the same clients and that have the same issues. They will work together. SWIFT and Ripple documentation that Ripple can simply integrate with the bank's back office systems in a matter of weeks, with bank-grade security and being an institutional favorite. It's obvious why when banks want to go cross-border, they choose Ripple. Ripple fixes the back end, the part that's broken, the part that even through upgrades, SWIFT cannot fix. It will still be expensive and it will still take days to send money. Now think about Ripple moving money in a matter of seconds at a very cheap price. That's why Ripple is the future. And SWIFT is going to work with Ripple because they still want to stay in the game. That's what's important to them. Elon Musk says America will go bankrupt. I believe the US dollar is likely to crash this year. The switch will be flipped to the new gold-backed financial system. XRP will be the bridge. But all Elon said was this right here. Overspending must stop or America will go bankrupt. I honestly thought America was already bankrupt. We're $34 trillion in debt. If any of us rack that amount of debt, not even that amount, most of us, if we hit $100,000 in debt, we are filing for bankruptcy. And that's a plain fact. But here in the United States, it seems like the government could rack up trillions and trillions of dollars in debt and still have nonstop spending happening at the same time. And at the same time, scam. They're weakening the US dollar more and more all the time. House passes bill that would require ByteDance to sell TikTok in 6 months or face a ban in the United States. 352 people voted to ban it, and 52 people voted against it. You know, that's the worst part of this, because if they could ban TikTok, they could start to ban X. They could ban other social media platforms as well. And you know, here's the bad part of this. A lot of people are making a living off of TikTok. Think about that. It's a side hustle for most people that are on there, because they're trying to make ends meet just like the rest of us. You know, the working class in the United States is going broke. They're working 2 and 3 jobs. And guess what? They're still falling into debt because the US dollar is becoming worth less and less all the time. Then there's this. These scam coins are getting crazy. Someone just shilled me. 27 trillion in circulation. Unlimited supply cap. Only one node. 25% of the supply minted in the last 6 months. 1% of holders own 30%. Just kidding. That's the US dollar. I thought that was great. I had to share it with all of you. But that's how pathetic the US dollar actually is at this point. And yet so many people believe it's going to be around for another 100 years. Ethereum Denkan upgrade now live, bringing reduced transaction fees on L2s. But what about L1s? You know, everybody's sick of the fees. And any L2 transaction that used to cost $1 can now be done for $0.01. But that's not where most people find the problems. And you know, Ethereum is going to eventually fail. It's just a matter of time. There's so many other better networks out there. Look at Hedera. Look at the XDC network. Look at Casper. Look at the XRP Ledger. Look at Stellar. Do you honestly think Ethereum has a future? The only people still using it are the same people that have been using it for years, and they made a lot of money off of Ethereum. So that's all they see. Breaking: Senator Bernie Sanders tables legislation to make 30-hour work week the standard in America for the same pay. You know, right now we are in election year. They're going to tell you anything you want to hear to get you the vote for them. But you know, this shows you that when you see something like this, most people would vote for him because of this. Oh, I only have to work 4 days a week and I get the same amount of money. Great, I'm voting for Bernie Sanders. But it's the same reason that once we have a CBDC and they're telling you, okay, AI took your job, put on the universal basic income. People will line up for miles to get put on that. And, you know, it's funny because people said, no one's going to ever go for a CBDC here in the United States. Offer them free money. Everybody will be on board so quick. You will see how fast people will vote no matter what for a CBDC if it means they get something for free. And, you know, even universal basic income does not come without a cost. You got to remember, the money expires over time. So forget about saving money for a rainy day. And on top of that, they know everything you're buying. So they can prevent you from buying certain things with your universal basic income. People need to always research before they start talking about something or rooting for something to happen. But I do believe AI is definitely going to take jobs over the coming years. And it's going to happen at a very fast pace as well. It's the 5th industrial revolution. But you know, we're XRP investors. All we got to do is stay invested in XRP. Get rich before it all happens. That's the way I look at it. And until it does happen, stay patient and stay positive. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.